Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Lisa, and today I'm going to play with the project that I saw on a Facebook reel by BB Art, and I thought it was fun. And it is a way to distress papers using distress stuff and some alcohol. So I'll show you a couple of things that I have done already as test pieces, and then we're going to show you how I did them. So let's get these out of the way. All right, so the first one I tried looks like this on one side and this on the other side. It was a thicker piece of off-white cardstock. The rest of the project I'll do with lighter paper. This was a little harder. So this was a combination of the Distress Spray Stain in Gathered Twigs and the Oxide in Vintage Photo. So interesting, this is the side that I laid down, and you'll see the process. This is the side I laid down. You can see the lines from the background. This is just poly mailer I used to mail stuff out. I was using a garbage bag earlier that was darker. I've used that before, but I decided to use a white one to see the ink a little bit better. I couldn't see the ink on that because it was dark. So that was the one side, and then what we do is we spray, we put our stuff down, and then we put the paper down, and then we spray the top with an alcohol. And this is what happened to the other side. So quite interesting and weird, and I'm not sure how that happened, but the same two inks that were on this side wicked through to be this side. Now some of the things are darker is because when I flipped it over to dry it, I think there was ink on the surface that changed the color. But still, I mean, this is really fun. I mean, talk about the difference on that. So that was my test paper with the sprays. And then I moved on to a piece of music sheet, so thinner paper. Same process with the two ink sprays, and you can see it still did the same thing where the darker and it wicked through to the lighter. Quite interesting, but what a fun grungy page that is to do that. So after I did that, I decided to use some smaller pages, and this I sprayed with not those but colored ones, and I used a green and a I used peel paint and fossilized amber. I didn't spray them too far out, and it seems like the distressed stains don't spread as far for that. Still cool. I did spray both at once. Still cool, but not as fun as I think the oxide. I think the oxide really spreads a little better. So with that said, I moved on to this, which was the oxides. And I started with one color. I started with the green. And interesting, this is the side I would green it up. This is the side that went down. So the wicking through part ends up being brighter. And that's, I think, how that changed with the brown went, is it changed color. So this was the side that laid on the paper, and this is the side that inked through. After the green dried, I went and put seedless preserves on there because I love purple and green together. I think it's fun. Kind of reminds me of floral, you know, purple flowers, green leaves. And I did the same thing. On this, I put the purple on the border versus all over the place. And as you can see, one side is one color and that is the other side. So very fun. It did work, but these were distressed oxides, and as you can see, they spread out and mottled, grunged a little bit more. So fun. Then I went on to try alcohol inks. So I tried Mojito, which is a green, and this is the side that I put down. And again, sort of the same thing. It's a bit lighter. Both alcohol inks and this kind of paper, like where I put the dots, it kind of stayed where it was at. I had sprayed, after I did this, I did spray alcohol on this sheet to kind of disperse it a little, but it really didn't work that well. So it did soak through the other side, much darker, still kind of lighter, kind of interesting, cool, but really stayed centralized. So after I did that, I decided I wanted to try some Distress Spritz with the fun colors, and this is the side I ended up putting on, again, the back to see what would come through, and you can sort of see there's a bit of dots through it, but this doesn't. Once it's on, it dries. It like almost dries instantly. So there was no wicking through of this product. So the side that I laid down where it was maybe a little thicker got the color. This side didn't get anything because nothing wicked through. So this is a major fail. Distress Spritz does not work with this technique. And I would also say, I would go on a limb and say that alcohol ink also does not work. I mean, it works, but not so good. What I do say that works is Distress Oxides. So I went even further after that, and I wanted to see if one of my digitals would work. So this is a digital I had laying around from my Christmas digital, and unfortunately I don't have one that looks like it normally did. You can see that it was printed out, and I put the ink on this side, the green, because I thought Christmas I did the green. I didn't blend it as well. You can sort of see the marks of the thing, of the square. But then I put that on there and I did spray it. So it appears that the part that got printed from the computer, the printer, did not run at all. It stayed fine. So the alcohol getting spritzed onto this didn't ruin it at all. Now this has been a couple months since it's been printed. So if you print something in the morning and go to do this in the afternoon, I can't guarantee that it's going to work. But this is the digital that I've had sitting around and cured for a while. And it's very fun. I mean, it's just, this background was not as grungy as it was. Especially you can tell where there's white. But it's a great way, I think, to do a digital that you have white on one side to go back and grungy it up. So I think I will do that again on some stuff. But let me show you the process, and I'm going to use just plain white paper so you see how this works. All right, so since I have the, we'll start with the vintage photo, just because I have it out. And I'm going to take my Distress, and I'm just going to spread it out on there. And you can see there's a bit of the square marks on there. So what I did for that is I do have a spray bottle with water, and I did mist it a little so that it maybe broke it up a little bit into more dots and not lines. All right, so we're going to take our regular copy paper and we are going to put it down. And I have a bottle of alcohol. I believe it's just 70, and I'm going to saturate the top of this. And I'm fine with saturating it because alcohol dries so fast that it doesn't matter that it's getting totally wet. All right, I guess you could let it dry. You could use a heat gun, but I only have a hair dryer, so I'm going to dry it. I will turn the sound off and speed it up to show the process because I think it's fun to watch it appear. All right, that is pretty dry. I'm going to just clean off a couple of pieces that scattered to the side here. And you can see how fun that is to grunge something up. And like I said, the ones that I was using, the papers with stuff on it, really just adds to this grunge and makes it more interesting to do this. So let's play with a couple other colors because we can see how the simple colors work. All right, we're going to try a little rusty hinge, a little orange. And maybe a little red. I know it's not fall yet, but fall's coming soon. Whoops. So it'll be kind of fun to throw some fall colors in there. All right, again, I'm going to spray it with some water just to break up the lines on that. Now this is sort of like just regular dipping of paper. But what I think is kind of fun about it is the fact that you get the one side that you would dip, but then you really get the interesting look of the other side when it wicks through. All right, I think it's pretty well saturated, and once again, I'll dry it. I might cut this one out though. We'll see what it looks like on camera after I process it. All right, there you go. Now, what a fun way to distress a paper. Totally different than maybe some other way. A string on there. Yeah, fun. All right, I'm going to grab a digital to show you what that looks like. And I'll use some of the spray stuff. And I think I'm going to try this one. There's a lot of white on the outside of this, which could be fun to do. And it's kind of, you know, old books, so I think a little bit of grunge would be fine. But I was thinking instead of spraying it, I'm wondering if, well, actually, I think I still will spray it. I'm going to spray it with the walnut stain, but I think I'm going to try to water it down a little and do just a little bit of hints of it. Forgot to clean the lid on that last one. I can remember to do that. And a little water on there just to make it be a little more sparse. Okay. All right. And we're going to plop. Now I'm going to make sure it all gets pushed down. Girl. And you know when paper gets wet, it loves to curl. So we're going to make sure it gets wet all over the place. Fully saturated on this one. And dry. Well, I am in love with the walnut stain by itself. The alcohol must separate them, whatever ingredients are in there, into two separate things. Because I mean, if you want something rusty, that is like beautiful. You want something patinaed, like a copper would get with that green. I mean, it's totally different. Green with the red. I mean, very cool. I think I'm going to do one last thing. As my hands are just getting filthy. I think I'm going to do a plain piece of paper with just the walnut stain to see if I can replicate the red on one side and the green on the other. So I'll be back. I'm going to clean this off a little bit. I probably don't have to use the same stain. So let's just go for it. All right, so I'm going to try to do the same exact thing I did on that one, but white paper and just some light spritzing. Wipe it off, and I'm going to spray it with some water just to make sure it's well dispersed. And we're gonna plop the white down. Okay, and we're gonna do the same with some alcohol on this side. Making sure I get all of it. Again, trying not to get any air bubbles. Trying to make sure it is all touching. Okay, let's dry. I'm excited. All right, this one is done, and I don't know if you can see, but this side, the side that was touching the walnut stain, is the green and brown, but there's like almost gold in there, golden flecks. So cool. But then again, you go on this side, and it is rust and green. Like, how fun is that? Like, totally different worlds from one ink. Some water and some alcohol. So much fun. That is probably my favorite version of this whole thing, is doing it that way. But anyway, like I said, even grunging up papers that were like that. Doing colored inks. Doing that kind of stuff. Book pages. Very fun. All right, well, I think that is going to be it for me on this one. I hope you enjoyed that. I really did. So again, my favorite is the Distress Oxide Spray Walnut Stain that gave this look. But it appears anything that is oxide, these kind of things will also work. The spray stains worked okay, but I would stay away from the alcohol inks for sure, and the Distress spritzes, I would stay away from those. All right. Well, that's going to be it for me today. If you liked the video, a thumbs up. Again, thanks to BB Art and her Facebook reel to show this process to us. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. And as usual, I hope you all have a wonderful and creative day. Bye for now.